Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of TEW 2016 with a generic YouTube intro as always. We have Superstars in Smackdown, and of course we have Superstars. We have a dark match with Astrid Dunla taking on Shelly Martinez. Astrid getting a 51. She's doing pretty good. That getting her over strategy is working. And this was kind of I hired Shelly Martinez for one match only thing. I just noticed that TNA had fired her, so she picks up a win with a Path of Blood. I don't know what that move is. You can imagine it yourself. But yeah, nice little dark show match for her. Now we have the show open. We have a Raw recap if you didn't watch Raw. The main event, or not the main event, I should say. We don't know what the main event is yet. Is for the title match for the WWE Championship for Raw. Is going to be Kofi Kingston taking on Chris Jericho and The Big Show. Originally, they were supposed to have a match, but they did not go through with it. Challenged Kofi, and Kofi said, "You know what? Fine. We'll have this match, triple threat." As well as we hype the fact that Christian will make his decision on taking the I Quit match with John Cena, if he will do that, on SmackDown, and that's why Shawn Michaels is out. He hypes that up as the SmackDown GM. And we have, this actually did way better I thought it would do. We have a tag team action. The Second City Selfies taking on the American Wolves, and the Second City Selfies continue a decent win streak in about 10 minutes when Colt Cabana defeats Eddie Edwards with a beauty shot into a Colt 45, picking up the win. Colt getting a 63, and mainly carried by the American Wolves. Tyler Breeze kind of dragged it down a little bit, but a 71 V-. I know on the grades this mod is like a... this would be like a C+, but I like that it's a B-. I think it makes more sense. But yeah, no, pretty good match. I was genuinely surprised. Next, we have a generic little angle, about 5 minutes of just AJ, or not even 5 minutes, of just AJ Lee. She gets on the microphone and talks some bullshit about Beth Phoenix with that title match situation, kind of building up into that. It doesn't say anything really specific or worthy of note, just generic promo. And then we have, I'm actually surprised this didn't do as good as the tag team match. But we have a fatal four-way: the Tokyo Pimp, Trent Beretta, Frankie Kazarian, and David Otunga. We have Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi picks up the win with a inter-college slam onto Trent Beretta. He got a 58. He usually does better than that. Was anything holding him back specifically? Just inconsistency. Alright, so just what can you do? Frankie Kazarian got a really good rating. I'm glad I sent him to the mid-card, but C+, what can you do? Then we have a generic promo with CM Punk. He's hyping his match up at Over the Limit. I don't know if I said No Way Out for the WWE title one. It's not No Way Out. I don't know why I have No Way Out in the mind. CM Punk, he gets on the microphone and he talks about Randy Orton's match. He kind of makes fun of The Miz for getting kicked out of what could have been a triple threat match. But CM Punk says that he's going to finish off Randy Orton. That momentum he has is going to come to a screeching halt come the pay-per-view. You know, generic little promo. Nothing worth writing down. And in a decent match, a good wrestling distraction from the crowd, The Miz defeats Alex Riley with a skull-crushing finale. Two people who are pretty well known with each other, pretty well scouted. But The Miz is just overall the better athlete, and he picks up the win in 21:58 with a skull-crushing finale. And then we have one more segment, and I did not expect 100%. I just had Daniel Bryan cut a backstage promo, probably talking about change. Maybe he talks about how Daniel Bryan's kind of been in a rut recently. Daniel Bryan, I don't know why he'd be talking in the third person. I've been thinking recently that maybe it's time to change up my style, change up some things. A lot of people have compared me to the indie star that I used to be, and I am not holding up. I think it's time to finally become the man I am to become. Generic bullshit like that. And I really just wanted to test Daniel Bryan on the microphone, and I'm glad I got 100, because that's always good. And let's see how the show made. 85B plus general meme. And I'll see you now. We're going to cut here, go to SmackDown as usual. Sold out in McKay Stadium. And we have a Dark Show Dream match. We have Colt Cabana versus Doink the Clown, who I thought would be funny if I hired. Colt Cabana gets the dominant win in 6 minutes with the inverted Boston Crab, which I should change. I believe, yeah, that's the Chicago Crab. So he submits him with the Chicago Crab in the dark match because he's Colt Cabana, and Colt Cabana is awesome. So Shawn Michaels opens SmackDown. He's hyping up the crowd. He just says that tonight's main event will have John Cena in action for the first time since, Extreme Rules, as well as Christian's response to the I Quit match challenge Cena threw out at him last week. And you kind of feel like there's nothing really to this segment in content, but you kind of have a feeling that Shawn Michaels is trying to lift the mood of SmackDown, because SmackDown's kind of been pretty fucked as of late with the whole John Cena situation. It's calmed down, but now that he's got the title, a lot of people, you got to be wondering what is going on. The whole John Cena situation is a whole thing in and of itself. It's kind of taking a life of its own. But we will be in action, so maybe someone can beat some sense into John, but, it is John Cena we're talking about. And we have a decent match between the Divas of Doom and the Gatecrashers. And the Divas of Doom pick up the win against the Gatecrashers, the team of Katie Lee and Velvet, when Beth Phoenix pins Katie Lee with a Gland Slam. But during the part of the match, AJ Lee comes out, distracting Beth Phoenix, but it's not enough. It's kind of those distractions where the heel is just... Beth Phoenix is not in a good mood, you could probably guess, because a lot of people have doubted her recent success. She's failed to win the title from Layla, she failed to win the title from Madison Lane, and now people just assume she's going to fail against AJ Lee, but of course, you can't really doubt that. But she still gets the win, so I guess you can't really put her out. Beth Phoenix actually getting the lower performance, which again kind of goes into the kind of losing that edge a little bit of hers. But Katie Lee got an 86 because Katie Lee is awesome. So that's always good. And then in another decent match, just nothing, no storyline. It's just the Intercontinental Champion Ryback taking Trent Beretta. Trent Beretta takes Ryback to his limit. Ryback hasn't had too many matches over 10 minutes. But Ryback's still able to pick up the win with an 84 with a suplex power slam with the shell shock. I assume I should just... I say the names differently every time, and I bet everyone at home is like, change the fucking name, you idiot. So I probably should do that. But I'll probably forget to anyway. But Ryback, doing pretty good after winning the Intercontinental Championship. It's kind of odd, with the IC titles more of a kind of workman's title, if you will. Yet it's held by someone who's not fully well known for their in-ring ability. But, Ryback's still Ryback. You can't shake a stick at him. And we have a little backstage segment. We cut backstage to see Zack Ryder in the middle of a heated debate with the Chosen One, Drew McIntyre. With Zack Ryder saying, "Look, bro, you call yourself the Chosen One, but the only chosen thing around here is your name in the loser bin." And Drew McIntyre's like, "That doesn't make any sense. Besides, you make it seem like you've been on a winning streak as of late. If it wasn't for my bloody awful teammates, I would have beaten you at WrestleMania. Why don't I go to General Manager Shawn Michaels and have him give me a match against you next week?" Mark Henry interrupts, the world's strongest man, seemingly angry about something, although he is Mark Henry. He's usually angry all the time. Mark Henry saying, "No one cares about you two." I can't believe I spelled the two wrong. "They came to see me put a new victim in the Hall of Pain. Now get out of my way." Drew and Zack look at each other before leaving Henry to himself. Even 2-on-1, even if Zack Ryder's, obviously babyface, he's not going to just attack Mark Henry to attack Mark Henry. But even if he wanted to, 2-on-1, still, he's Mark Henry. He's the world's strongest man. There's a lot going in there. And speaking of that match, we have a decent little one, which Mark Henry defeats Goldust. But during the match, Zack Ryder comes out, seemingly distracting Henry. But at the same time, Drew McIntyre comes and just also brawls with Zack Ryder. So obviously a little distracting, but not distracting enough for Mark Henry to win with a big splash after Goldust. Goldust, Goldust puts up a fair fight, but it's Mark Henry, so what can you do? 81B, pretty decent match. Next we have Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash walks out to the crowd's delight. He is heavily taped up. He looks bad, clearly feeling the brutal effects of the past few weeks. Kevin Nash then gets on the microphone and he gives a pretty long speech, if you will, with Nash saying, "Guys, I came out to say one thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to a lot of people. Rey Mysterio, I let the guy down last week. I'm sorry to my wife and kids. They shouldn't have to see me this way. And I'm sorry to all of you. These past couple months, I've been thinking really hard about my career, my legacy, what the name Kevin Nash means. And looking back, most of it's not that good. I've been known to bash smaller wrestlers and younger workers. I was the worst sold WWE champion of all time. 2 times I've been the head of a company. It landed in financial ruin, one of which even died completely. I don't have a lot of good to my name. I even considered the dreaded retirement coming up. But after what Alberto and Swagger have been doing, I'm going to give it my all. I still got time, and I ain't wasting it anymore. What I need is something that make the kids at home say, I remember Kevin Nash. I need something that will put a good thing on my legacy. In the twilight of my career, I need to make a difference, not just for myself, but for all of you. I may be old, I may not be young, but the Kevin Nash of old is gone. No more games, no more memes, no more yelling about vanilla midgets. Kevin Nash is going to be Kevin Nash for the sake of Kevin Nash. And that's too sweet. I thought I'd throw too sweet in there. Pretty passionate speech by Kevin Nash. You got to wonder what that means for the legacy of Kevin Nash, what he wants to do. But I guess he's still kind of feuding with Alberto and Swagger, so I guess he should fix that. Beth Phoenix comes, she's backstage, probably not in the ring. She gets a microphone and just starts ranting about AJ Lee. After that big segment, I didn't feel like writing anything. But Beth Phoenix is just full-on angry. She's just mad at the world. Probably due to all of the bullshit that she's been having to put up with AJ Lee and everyone else calling her old. She kind of makes fun of Kevin Nash, the whole "I'm old" thing, because she says, "I still got a lot of tank, but I'm not old. I'm spring chicken. I'm gonna do my best, and I'm gonna take that Divas title back to where it rightfully belongs, around my waist." Fun little segment there, and we have tonight's main event. And we do have tonight's main event with John Cena taking on poor Sin Cara. Sin Cara, he didn't have a chance. And during this match, Christian was on commentary. Well, he's not on commentary, he's just sitting there. Originally, he's supposed to be on commentary, but he just gets in the chair and doesn't say anything. Completely focused on looking at John. And Sin Cara puts up a decent fight, but it's mostly just 15 minutes of John Cena beating this man's ass. He locks in the STF. He taps Sin Cara out, looking right at Christian. The ref has to literally fight to pull John off of Sin Cara, and even then, he's like, "Oh, never mind, I didn't mean to do that," because John looks like he's about to beat the shit out of the ref. He looks like he's about to beat anything that moves, and then we get the ending segment. John Cena standing over Sin Cara. Pretty much he's passed out at this point. It almost is like he's dead, but thankfully he's not. I know all you Sin Cara fans are going to be happy. There's no emotion on his face. A slight look of interest as Christian stands up. Christian puts his hand out, and slowly but surely he puts his thumb up. A slight smirk on his face, the challenge accepted. John Cena simply looks down at his World Heavyweight Championship, then back to Christian before the show fades to black. The match is on. Christian versus John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship in an I Quit match. Christian quits, then his career in WWE is over. And we end the show there at the 90A. Overall, I really like the show, building up the storylines. I've had to take a little break, and I thought I'd throw this out there before I end the episode. I am currently going to try this weekend. I'm doing a massive session of TEW to the point where I can get over the limit done. I want to get to over the limit because I'm in the process of about to buy a new PC. I'm currently using a laptop, and I'm buying a PC so I can play different games, not for the channel, just for myself, but more importantly is I want to be a video editor, so I will be putting in that. So I will be transferring eventually to the PC to record there. So I don't know when that's going to be. It should be soon. I have the money saved up. I'm buying it pre-built. I would build it myself, but I'm awful. And I know many of you who don't give a shit have tuned out. But just to give a status, hopefully the episode shouldn't abruptly take a small break. They did take a small break recently because I just want to take some time off and plan some stuff out. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of Monday Night Raw.